Coming up on today's programme, we discuss the future of motoring.
How much does it cost to run a car in today's economy? What are the advantages and what are the other options?
Also, we speak to an electric car enthusiast who tells us whether or not they really are the cheaper alternative.
Electric driving is the way forward, in my personal opinion.
The electric car industry continues to find its footing with Tesla's introduction of the Model S, capable of a range of over 250 miles.
Elon Musk and his team over in the US continue to raise the bar in the electric automobile industry. By publicly releasing their patents back in 2014, they continue to pioneer their way to a greener future.
Later on in the programme, we will be hearing a statement from some car mechanics regarding the viability of electric cars. Our reporter Alex Baldwin will be live on location at Brands Hatch.
But first, we wanted to take a look at how much it would cost for an average car journey in today's economy, how that compared to the manufacturer's statistics, and how affordable it was in comparison to other options. Our reporter Alex Baldwin went to see how much fuel a modern petrol car uses in a typical 15-mile journey.
Have you ever thought about how much you spend on petrol? How much does a typical commute actually cost? We're going to run 15 miles in my car, do the numbers, and see how much it actually is. So according to official figures, this car will do 43.5 miles per gallon. Of course, that's on a rolling road in a controlled environment, so we're probably never going to be able to exactly match that, but we'll give it our best shot. So I typically get about 39 miles per gallon in this car, so to do this journey it would cost you about £4, which isn't too bad whatsoever, but with kit and crew in the back of this car it could well end up being a little bit more. So what are the alternatives to fossil fuel? Well, the big one is really electric. A lot of people seem to be seeing this as the future, but right now it isn't that well implemented into society. Unfortunately, there aren't that many filling stations around the UK, meaning it's much simpler to just fill up with some petrol, and there's a petrol station every 5 minutes, so there's not really that much incentive to go electric right now. However, through our research for this project, we found that possibly in the next 50 years we might not have any petrol or diesel left, which begs the question, should we come up with an alternative sooner? So we're halfway through the journey now. Let's quickly talk about the price of electric cars. So let's compare the basic Volkswagen Golf to its electric cousin. The basic Volkswagen Golf starts at £18,000, the petrol version. If you compare that to the electric version, that's £28,000, including the government grant. Then you've got a home charging station and additions to your electricity bill. Is it really worth it? We recently interviewed an electric car enthusiast who told us now is the perfect time to invest in an electric car.
Right now is the perfect time to buy or own an electric car. The reason being, because we now have a fully nationwide charging infrastructure available for electric cars, and the government is providing us with subsidies for electric cars, which will go away over the next few years. So right now it's a cost incentive. It's actually cheaper to run an electric car. Much cheaper. I used to spend £250 a month on diesel. Now I'm saving that £250. You could use it to actually buy an electric car. Electric driving is the way forward, in my personal opinion.
So how much would it cost you to run an electric car? Let's look at the UK's highest selling electric car, the Nissan Leaf. It costs you £3 to fully charge, and if you compare that to Nissan's similarly sized petrol car, the Micra, that costs £48 to fill up. However, you must consider the range of both of these cars. The electric Leaf has a range of 155 miles, while the petrol Micra has a range of 520 on a full tank, nearly 4 times as much as the electric model. So when you do the numbers, doing 520 miles in the electric car would only cost you £10. Still much cheaper than the petrol, but it does make you think about the range of these cars. If you do long journeys regularly, electric cars probably are not an option right now. So that is our journey completed. We've run the numbers and this journey only cost £2.44, which is actually less than expected. So it really makes you think, when a petrol car is so cheap to run, what's the point of going electric?
So now Alex Baldwin is live on location at Brands Hatch, where he'll be talking to a driver about his thoughts on electric cars. Alex?
Yes, we're today here at Brands Hatch. We're going to have a quick conversation here with Jason, who's racing in the Formula Fords here today. He's going to quickly talk us through about what he thinks could be the future of motorsport. So, Jason, how long have you been involved in motorsport?
Well, I've grown up with it all my life. My father started a team way back in the early 70s when it started racing, and back in about 1994 I started racing, so that's 23 years is that? So yeah, so quite a while.
So over time, surely motorsport has become a little bit more expensive. How much sort of per weekend would you say you sort of spend maybe on petrol for this car?
Well, something like petrol, it's not a lot of money because you're not actually out on circuit for that much time. So I'd say probably around about £25 for a qualifying session and a race. They are more fuel thirsty than a normal road car, but you don't actually spend a lot of time driving them. So not that.
So that's interesting. So over time, as you say, you've been racing for a few years now. Would you say the price has gone up over time, or has it been pretty consistent?
It's been fairly consistent depending on the level that you race at. This car I've been running at club level for a few years now, and the prices haven't changed dramatically since when I started racing in the mid-90s. But that said, you can still spend £1,000–2,000 for a weekend's racing, and then if you hit something and bend something, that's when it starts to get more expensive.
So moving on to maybe like the future of motorsport and where you see it might be going. So the rise of electric cars on the road, could you ever see that coming to motorsport? I mean, we've got Formula E right now, which is sort of pinnacle of electric motorsport. Could we see that filter down to maybe Formula Ford level?
I think absolutely. I think as engineering develops and as more of the top level motorsport moves to electricity, then I can see that engineering coming down. I don't think something like Formula Ford will necessarily disappear. We'll probably have a race weekend where the main event is an electric powered single seater of some sort, and we'll come on after lunchtime and make a lot of noise. But I would like to see battery power coming down, and I think in essence, as long as the racing is fun and exciting to drive and fun and exciting to watch, and the costs aren't too much, then I don't see why not.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jason. Good luck this weekend. We'll see you out on track.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex. Some very interesting points there.
Still to come today, we discussed USB charging in electric cars. Is it really that slow? And with new driving test regulations being implemented this coming December, will failure rates rise?
See you after the break.
I hate my life. Hold it up, don't be a proper vlogger, you've got to do it up there.
Setting the swept on the camera, and then we're going to...
Yeah, look, you look a bit confused.
I'm pretty confident in what I'm saying. The electric car industry continues to find its footing. No, sorry.
Have you pressed the button?
Yeah.
An insightful report there.